What's up everyone on YouTube, TheMainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, staying safe and healthy. I will now be addressing a question I've received multiple times from viewers who have desperately wanted me to answer it. They've used a lot of Twitch channel points in order for me to answer it, so apologies it took so long, but it is regarding basically new original characters in Tekken. So main man, if you were a game director or game designer and you were free to design a new original character, what would that look like? Would you do something interesting? You smelly fuck? And I don't know why they add that sort of stuff towards the end of a question when I'm so lovely. I'm such a kind man. But it is an interesting question, to say the least. So that's something I've given some thought actually over the years. So I pretty much know what I would like to see. And yeah, we'll see how interesting you guys find my little notes here on a design I would do. But to me, this would be interesting. I feel it would be a little bit different and it would be quite welcome to me. So first off, I would probably add a female character. And you've heard me talk about this quite a bit. I feel like I don't overall I just dislike the female characters of Tekken just because they are all the same. It's a very attractive young woman and they are all many of them more respond girls, you know. There's this teenager thing. It's very teenager centric. They are extremely young. I just don't like that. And they're all pretty, you know, evasive strings, stances. So I would add a female character that's a little bit more mature. And when I say mature, I just mean, you know, maybe someone in my age, you know, like 35. Doesn't have to be 40-year-old, you know, God forbid we have a 40-year-old woman in Tekken, but I would very much welcome that. So a female character with a little bit more mature features. And I would love it if we had a counterpart to maybe Marduk, where we have a very brutal female character that does like kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA. An MMA-oriented female fighter who is around like 35. That has a very, you know, aggressive, brutal outlook. Would be really cool. To be honest, Fakum Ram would have been much more interesting if he was a female. Well, not a towering giant, but you get my point. Like, that would be interesting in my opinion. So far we have female, 35, MMA. And then I would want her to play very basic Tekken, relies more on single hits rather than doing strings and stances and confusing the opponent. I think we have too many female characters who fit into that archetype of confusion. And then I would want her to have a lot of throws. I would like to see a female MMA character with lots of throws, with a strong throw game, and you could do some interesting things with the throws. Maybe she could have a throw that goes into a mount or whatever. And you could do something different than Marduk's. You could have her maybe go armbar or choke, whatever. A ground and pound. Just some interesting things with that would be nice. Just make it a bit different to Marduk's. And then something, and this is probably not going to work, and I'm going to explain why, but I always felt it could be interesting to have a character that inverts the Tekken mid-low balancing. In Tekken, mids are usually safe, and lows are always unsafe, because they want to discourage you from lows. But I thought it would be so interesting to have a character where the mids are unsafe, and the lows are safe. It could be interesting, but due to the Tekken system, it doesn't work due to the sheer amount of low crush, but also due to the low parry, of course, that blows up lows. So it's not gonna work. It's just an interesting idea, in my opinion. And then I would love her, my little character here. I haven't given her a name yet. Maybe Scarlet. Scarlet does not have... No, she has a character gimmick. You know, like, I find it interesting, you know, Claudio's Starburst. It adds something to the game, in my opinion. It's very unique. Leroy has a pimp cane he can pull out of his ass once per match. Interesting. So I thought she could have this gimmick that I find so cool in, for example, Street Fighter 3rd Strike, where Q, the mysterious man in a trench coat, he has a taunt where during a match, I think he can do it, if you do it 4 times, he can store all of those taunts. I think 4 is the max. Every taunt gives him greater defense. He takes less damage. And it stacks up to the max with 4 taunts. And you have incredible, it's 3 taunts maybe, okay. But you get better defense with every taunt. And those stay for the whole match. It's not only in round specific. And I find that so interesting. And when you have Shun in Virtua Fighter and he consumes alcohol, and the more he drinks, the more powerful he becomes, and it actually unlocks new moves during the match. Honestly, stuff like that is so cool. And I thought this could be something Scarlet has. And it's gonna tie into the next thing I'm going to mention. And it's that, and this is something I wanted to see for a long time. You know, rather than doing combos in Tekken, you know, let's say someone's minus 15, and what do? You do a hop kick or a down forward 2 into a combo. But what if rather than a combo, the character has a 15 frame standing 4, like Fakum Ram's back forward 4, and it just goes kablam! And it does combo damage. It does 60 damage. Kablam! I've always felt that would be so epic. And it really doesn't break the momentum of the match. And it's just, rather than doing a combo, it's just 1 hit does combo damage. That's the punish. Boom! And I thought that would be so cool. So rather than a combo-centric character, I would just like to see 1 hit. Just brutal hits that would tie into MMA. And it would also tie into the stronger overtime gimmick, where Scarlet would, when she starts out the match, her kablam round kick does 45 damage. But if she pulls off a taunt, it does 60. And if she pulls off another taunt, this is really hard to do, but another taunt, it does 75. Kablam! And other moves are powered up in the same way. I just, in my opinion, all of this would make a very interesting, original Tekken character that really sets itself apart from the rest of the roster. And I would be very interested in seeing something like this, rather than seeing, you know, another Josie or Lily or, well, Lucky Chloe, you know. So yeah, that's my character, that's my Scarlet. I hope you found that to be interesting, and that's as much thought as I've given this. And this, everything I presented right now, these are thoughts I've had for years, so it's nothing I just took, you know, 60 seconds to think of. This is stuff I've thought about for years. But yeah, that's what I would do, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little idea, I guess, of mine. So thanks for listening to me, and have a nice day, everyone on YouTube. Not you guys on Twitch.